In this video, we are going to discuss moderated caucuses. First of all, what is a moderated caucus? The name might sound very academic, but it's actually just a cool way of saying debating on subtopics. This is the time when the committee starts debating on sub-areas of the main topic. This type of debate is run by the chair and it's a time for you to discuss policy ideas and make your arguments. For example, let's say the agenda of your committee is ocean pollution. During unmoderated caucuses, you might want to narrow down and focus on different aspects of the issue. The economic impact of marine pollution, the impact of pollution on coastal communities, raising awareness on ocean cleanup initiatives. You get the point. These are all possible subtopics for a moderated caucus. But why are moderated caucus needed in the first place? The agendas of your committee are very broad. Let's take the ocean pollution example again. As I said before, there are a lot of topics that come under this broad agenda. It is often likely to get lost in the sea of generalized discussions. We can't come up with comprehensive and specific solutions if we don't discuss on specific topics. And that's exactly why we need moderated caucuses. How does a moderated caucus take place? Well, usually the chair calls for an unmoderated caucus for the delegates to discuss and brainstorm a list of moderated caucus topics. Once the unmod is over, the chair will open the house for moderated caucus topics. Great. What do you do now? Do you just yell out the topic for the moderated caucus? No, there is a formal motion to initiate a moderated caucus. To raise this motion, you have to raise your placard and wait for the chair to call your delegation. When you're called, you should mention these 4 things. I like to call it the 4T rule. You should mention the topic of the moderated caucus, time for each speaker, total speaking time or total number of speakers, and if you want to go first or last. A bit overwhelming? Don't worry. Let me give you an example. The delegate of Thailand would like to propose a 10-minute moderated caucus on the topic economic impact of ocean pollution with an individual speaking time of 1 minute. The delegate would like to go last. So the first T, topic, that is economic impact of ocean pollution. The second T, time for each speaker, 30 seconds. Third T, total speaking time, which is 10 minutes. And the fourth T, to go first or last. All of these aspects are mentioned. While voting on moderated caucuses, the chair will give priority to the least disruptive ones. That is, the ones with the lowest time for each speaker. You might want to pause here and understand how to propose the motion for a moderated caucus before moving on. Great. Now we know how to propose a moderated caucus. But what do you say in your moderated caucus? Don't worry, I've got you covered. Number 1, focus. Speaking time is usually very short in moderated caucuses, yet most delegates try to run through a laundry list of points and facts, but no single thing sticks in the minds of the audience. Don't make this mistake. Focusing on one idea is the perfect way to pierce through this haze of information. Number 2, framework. Break down your one idea into a list of bullet points. Group these points in such a way that they are organized and structured. Number 3, persuade, don't describe. Delegates spend way too much speaking time reciting facts instead of arguing a point. But the head table and the delegates have done more than enough research to know facts about the topic. When I say reciting facts, I mean reading out a paragraph from your research binder. We know you've done a great job researching, but we want to hear your perspective and analysis and not just facts and numbers. If you fail to create a good impression in your opening speech, moderated caucuses are your chance at redemption. This is the time for you to show the depth of your research, your understanding of the topic, and the quality of your solutions. So, utilize this time effectively and make as many speeches as possible. That's it for today's video. I hope you now have a better understanding of what a moderated caucus is.